tonight's Aurora forecast. The northern lights are to continue over the United States. Look at this, over the Great Lakes, U.S., basically over the northeast, and the states under the U.S.-Canadian border. The northern lights could be visible in the U.S. as moderate geomagnetic storms are forecast to batter our Earth tonight in the wake of yesterday's severe storms that sparked auroras across the world. An explosion on the surface of our sun sent a huge cloud of magnetically charged solar plasma known as a coronal mass ejection, or CME, careening towards our planet, triggering a G4 class geomagnetic storm. As this storm hit mid-morning in the US, the strongest aurora were seen rippling across Australia, further away from the South Pole than usual, and later on in the UK and in parts of Canada. Today, a G2 storm is forecast to hit the Earth, which may spark the northern lights above several northern US states tonight. The aurora may become visible over some northern and upper Midwest states from New York to Idaho, NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center, SPWC, said in a forecast. On SPWC map, this map reveals that the northern parts of Washington, Montana, Idaho, North and South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, New York, and Maine are likely to catch a glimpse of the aurora this evening. Geomagnetic storms are disturbances in the Earth's magnetic field caused by a CME slamming into it. These storms are ranked on a scale of G1 to G5, with G5 being the most powerful and most rare. During these storms, the charged particles from the CME are funneled into our atmosphere along the magnetic field line, sparking aurora. More powerful geomagnetic storms result in aurora being seen further away from the poles, as in this case, stretching further south in the northern hemisphere and further north in the southern hemisphere. Some or many of these particles flow earthward with significant energy along the merged field lines. Martin Connors, professor of space science and physics at Canada's Athabasca University, told Newsweek. They crash into Earth's upper atmosphere, the height near and below the ISS, and excite particles in the atmosphere. These excited particles glow, and the type of particle being hit, the oxygen, nitrogen, etc., determines the color of the auroral glow. Red auroras are produced by high-altitude oxygen, while lower-altitude oxygen generates green light. Purple and violet colors in the aurora are produced by nitrogen molecules and atoms. Dr. Tamitha Skov reposted an image from Esperance Airport in Western Australia of the stunning red aurora. The G4 storm that occurred yesterday is considered severe on the SWPC G scale, with G4 storms being seen around 100 times per 11-year solar cycle. G4 storms can cause voltage problems across the power grid, spacecraft issues, and disruptions in satellite navigation. Geomagnetic field activity reached G4 severe storm levels late in the 12 to 15 UTC synoptic period. Storm levels have steadily decreased over the course of the period, ending at unsettled levels, the SWPC said in a forecast discussion. The G2 storms forecast this evening are much less powerful, expected about 600 times per cycle. G2 storms can result in minor voltage issues to grids at high latitudes and mild drag to spacecraft in orbit. Unsettled to active conditions are expected, with diminishing chances for G2 moderate levels on August 13, that's of course today. As the CME influences dissipate, a return to mostly quiet to unsettled levels are expected on August 14-15, SWPC said on forecast discussion. The most powerful geomagnetic storms, G5, are the least common of all, generally being expected about 4 times per solar cycle. However, before the May 10 storms this year that sparked auroras across all 50 U.S. states, the most recent G5 storm had occurred in 2003. And this is from Newsweek on DNYUZ. So all of you that have a clear sky can go out and watch these auroras if you're in those latitudes. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.